Hello, everyone. Nura Rochelle here. Thanks for joining if you're here live, and if you're watching on the replay, also nice to connect with you. I hope you've had a beautiful week. So in these Astro Healings, we look at the transits that occurred last week to do some recapitulation, and then we get a little bit of sneak peek into what's coming for the week ahead. And I do this really intentionally so that we can meet in the present moment. Integrating in the now requires knowing where we came from, knowing where we are, so that we can strategize where we want to go moving forward. So thanks for being here with me, and let's dive in. So looking at last week, the weekly themes. So I've been saying this a lot. You've probably heard me say this. If you've been here listening on these weekly Friday night Astro Healing sessions, I tend to get into a theme for the week. And so my theme for last week was really faith over fear. And I was saying it a lot. And I found myself needing to say it a lot, like needing to say it a lot to myself also. There's a lot going on. We had the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction April 12th last week. That was arguably the biggest of the transits for the week. We also, April 11th, just the day before that, we had Saturn at 22 degrees Aquarius square the nodal axis at 22 of Taurus and Scorpio, which is also a really big deal. We had April 14th, just yesterday, Mars enter Pisces, the sign of yin, mutable water. And then tomorrow, we are going to be having the full moon in Libra. Oh, hello. I'll see you after, okay? Or do you want to come say hi? This is my daughter.
But I can't see their friends.
Yeah, there we are. I'm talking about astrology. My friends are here in the comments. They're probably going to let me know how cute you are real soon. All right, I'll see you after, baby. Okay, so getting your, well, first of all, you can think, well, what have been your mantras? What have been your affirmations? Oh, you're pulling my tarot cards. I'm giving it away, the sneak peek.
I want to see the pictures.
You can look at them if you want. So I find it helps to anchor in a theme for the week. So you can look at last week for you and think, what was the continual theme? What did you find yourself having to repeat? Honey, if you're going to have to go out, okay? Yeah, I'll see you in a little while, okay?
But I'm going to keep one card.
Which one is it? Let me see. Oh, 8 of Pentacles, some meaningful work. Thank you. Okay, I'll see you in a little while. Watching my parenting skills in action. This is a very vulnerable moment for me. She makes it easy though. Okay, so grounding into what your statement for the week would be. Mine has been faith over fear. And that really came through really strongly with the April 12th Jupiter-Neptune conjunction at 23 degrees Pisces. And something that I've really been playing with a lot is degree theory. I don't know if you've connected with this theory. It's by a Serbian astrologer named Nikola, I hope I say his last name correct, Stojanovic. But he created the degree theory, which is really simple and it really works and I really enjoy it. So basically, from 1 to 12 would be 1 degree correlates with Aries, 2 with Taurus, 3 with Gemini, 4 with Cancer, all the way through. So 12 with Pisces, and then starting again, 13 at Aries, 14 at Taurus, and so on. So 29 degrees of any sign would also carry the undertone of Leo, as an example. And then 0 degrees of any sign would really carry the pure essence of that sign. So if it's 0 degrees Capricorn, it would be really strong Capricorn. If it's 0 degrees of Libra, really strong Libra. That's also known as the Aries point in astrology. So that's just fun fact, fun thing to know. And I've been doing a lot of observation and correlation, which is what astrology is, with these degree theories, particularly with the transits and how they've been showing up in my life. So 23 degrees and 58 minutes of Pisces, that would have been, if we're counting just the degree and not so much the minutes, that would have been an Aquarian degree, which has a lot to do with severing and releasing and actually becoming non-attached to things. And then now they've since moved into 24 degrees of Pisces, which is a Pisces degree. So it's like extra Pisces, extra floating, extra dreaming. I don't know about you, but my dreams have been super intense. And I've been trying to write them all down, but they've almost been too abstract to catch a theme, like too abstract to understand the plot of the dream. And so then I'll just ask my higher self and I'll say, okay, what do you want me to know about that dream? Because there was so much and it was so random. And then I'll just hear a word drop in like, oh, you're processing Virgo. Oh, there was something having to do with Jupiter. Like I'll just hear one word and then I'll understand, okay, now I can consult the transits, or I can consult that part of my chart that's linked to that. So maybe that's been true for you, because the dream work part of transit tracking is also really important. What kind of dreams are you having when the moon is in a particular sign? What kinds of dreams have been coming up for you with this massive Jupiter-Neptune conjunction with Pisces? We're still very much in it. So also, if we consider the other big shift that we had last week, the Saturn in Aquarius at 22 degrees, which according to Nicola's degree theory, 22 degrees is not a great degree. It's a degree of Capricorn, but apparently also a degree of death and destruction. So I definitely don't like to fearmonger with astrology because there's enough to be afraid of in the world. I really believe that there's a spectrum of everything, and that you can find the lower experience, the lower vibration, but you can also really find the higher vibration as well. So being a Capricornian degree, we could be looking at the death and destruction of an old system. And especially with that Saturn square the nodes, and we're still in this energy, but it was exact April 11th last week. We've had to confront with that South Node in Scorpio, where are we emotionally attached to what was? Where are we emotionally attached to what is dying? This will be on a massive variety of experience for people. I know some people who have been going through a lot of grief for, grieving loved ones who have passed, or grieving the loss of a job, or grieving change in some way that maybe circumstances are appearing very dire or very intense, very difficult. And so there's a lot to process emotionally. So I do have a video on my Nura Astrology YouTube on emotional processing and some of my favorite tips and tricks just for getting into the zone of feeling my feelings and getting into my body. So check that out if you're looking for some clues on how to do that. But really, emotional processing just requires your presence, and it just requires you allowing it to come up and not trying to run away from it, not trying to distract yourself out of feeling. Look at where you have your moon. I know I'm kind of going a little bit off of the transits and just kind of getting into teaching. It's hard for me to not do that. Very Sagittarius sun here. But look at where you have your moon and tap into what has been your coping mechanism. What do you need to do to feel safe? I have a theory that it is a combination of the moon with the South Node. Typically, not so much with the North Node, because the North Node is outside of our comfort zone. It's something that we're learning to step into. But if you combine the sign and house placement and any aspects of your moon with your South Node, those are going to show your default patterns and where you tend to feel comfortable. So in times that are stressful or difficult, if you're grieving something, looking at those energies to see, well, I can lean into activities that are associated with these archetypes and hopefully actually move through them efficiently. So you'll want to know, well, what's actually going to help you feel your feelings and versus what will distract you from feeling. So that's going to be different for everybody, but just being really clear on what that is for yourself. And I think that will be the best case scenario for moving forward with this Saturn square the node energy that we're still very much working with. So I'm curious to hear from you in the comments. Taking a look here. I love that. It says, my lovely niece, and happy Easter to you. Well, happy Easter weekend to everybody. The energy feels really nice right now, at least for me personally. I'm feeling really inspired and optimistic, and I'm getting over, I've had some people tell me that I'm overly optimistic, and I'm just getting over that. I'm just like, yeah, I'm optimistic. and I'm choosing to be happy. So I just go with that. There's so much to be grateful for all the time. Oh, I see some saying wild dreams, very surreal. Yes, huge watery shifts indeed. Some of you have been feeling super floaty, a lot of synchronicity. That is very Pisces indeed, words and messages. I have a feeling that, especially with this Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, we're going to see a lot of people's psychic gifts really explode. Like, I think that's the flood that's happening. People are receiving this flood of information, this flood of, oh yeah, I'm clairvoyant. Oh yeah, I'm clairaudient. Now what do I do with this? Receiving a flood of intuitive messages. So those of you who are intuitive teachers, you'll probably be very busy right now. I know I am. I find that this is a lot of the work that I'm doing is intuitive skill building with the tool of astrology, which goes together really nicely because you can use the astrology chart to affirm and confirm things that you're picking up energetically anyways. So I have a feeling that there will be a lot of people almost not even knowing, like, wow, why am I knowing this? And if they haven't sought it out, it might not make sense to them. So for some people, when that's a very different experience, there could be a lot of fear around that, like seeing spirits or seeing your dead grandmother. You're like, what is this, right? So having compassion for the fact that everybody's kind of at a different level of their psychic development. And if you're farther along on that path, and I believe it's a human birthright, we all are psychic, but some of us have repressed it a little bit more. The floodgates have opened. How can you support people who need help with their psychic development? Okay. Yeah, a lot of grief processing. Yeah, I'm loving these shares. It's so important to know these core archetypes because they're the energy that we're going to be working with, and we can essentially master them. And then we become like walking portals of these archetypes. So people will experience them when they come into our space. So when we know the energy that we're putting out and how it affects other people, we can just have a lot more control or, be able to manage our situations with consciousness, with intention. Which actually, speaking of the realm of relational dynamics and knowing yourself. So that actually leads us into the full moon in Libra, which is happening tomorrow, April 16th at 26 degrees Libra. And so that 26 degrees of both Libra and Aries is also going to hold a Taurian undertone because 26 degrees corresponds with Taurus. So looking at where you maybe are comfortable or maybe need to get outside of your comfort zone, where you expand in your comfort zone because it's full moon. So it's going to involve most likely other people, most likely our relationships, especially working with the signs Aries Libra, which is the relational axis. And the way I've interpreted this is it's important for us to own our relational containers, to know what it is that is the space that we hold. Hi.
My tablet is dead.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you're gonna just have to wait a couple minutes, all right? Do you want to come sit with me? I'm almost done. I could explain a little bit of a backstory here. It's actually kind of interesting. So my husband, come sit with me. Come sit with me. We recently moved from Oregon to Arizona, which has been really lovely. And my husband left a car in Oregon and he had to fly back and now drive his car back. But on the way back to Arizona, his car broke down a couple times. And I was really wondering, like, what on earth is going on in the chart? And then I noticed it's Mercury creeping in very close to Uranus. Soon they will form a conjunction. So that's also approaching. Rumi, put that down. That's also approaching next week. So whenever Mercury is approaching Uranus, we can expect big changes, particularly in the realm of thoughts, but also Mercury rules cars. So I was thinking car accidents, things like that. So anyways, long story short, his key broke in the unlock spot. I don't know what that's called, where you go to open the door and unlock it because it's an old BMW. So it doesn't have like the new bells and whistles and things like that. So anyways, he's been having his own adventure in that way. And I've actually been exploring some of my own fears in regards to what can happen on the road, right? Things like this. So that's why she's with me today. And so just kind of going with the flow, which is also very Pisces. Okay. I love these headphones. They're so cute. We'll see how much more of this I'll get to do, but thank you. If we tune into, okay, so I think the best energy to focus on for this coming week, especially because we have the sun entering Taurus April 19th, is our resonance. And I brought this up last week as well. But since we have a lot going on in the sign of Taurus, we have the North Node, we also have Uranus here. There's going to be a lot of accelerated change in the Taurian parts of our chart. So we'll want to be aware of that. We are also going to have Juno enter Pisces. So perhaps connecting with our Piscean soulmates. With our Piscean soulmates or our Piscean soul contracts is also very Juno and Pisces. And then we will also have Mercury conjunct the North Node at 22 degrees Taurus. And so I have a feeling, because put that down, please. I have a feeling with that 22nd degree that we're going to witness some sort of ending with our thought patterns, particularly because that 22nd degree, again, has that connotation of death, destruction, major change. So that's what I have for you. And, okay, wait. That's not the card that I pulled. You might be confusing people, honey. Okay, so the card that I did pull for this week around what it is that we get to release.
Can I say something?
Sure.
I want to pull out the card, please.
Can you hold this card up to show everybody?
Okay.
Thank you.
Then why is this here? I cannot see my body.
Okay. Yeah, put it right up to there so that they can see. So this is the 5 of Pentacles. And so I pulled this card around the question of what is it that we get to release right now? And so this is the card of poverty consciousness. We get to release poverty consciousness. And the word that I have really been hearing a lot around this is relax. Relax. And when you are in that space of relaxation, abundance comes. So that's very much a Taurian card. She has Venus there. Okay, don't show anymore.
Just one more.
Thank you, dear tarot reader.
I just want him to know all the cards that you have.
You're a very good teacher. Thank you.
Hey, I'm not a teacher, Mama.
You're a very good student then.
I'm not a teacher.
I think you're providing a lot of comic relief for everybody, which is also very important in these times. So, okay, that's what I have for you all tonight. Family duties are calling, but thank you for tuning in live, those of you who are here. And if you're watching the replay, I'd love to hear what resonates with you. And you're so silly. Gemini rising this one. If it's not obvious. Gemini rising with the Aries sun and Aquarius moon. Our moons are conjunct, so we're weirdos together. All right, see you next week at 5:30 p.m. Arizona time. Happy Easter.
For 5 hours and